Welcome to this short class where we're going to focus a lot on mobility and your breath. So it's a great class to do at the end of the day if you're just feeling a little bit tired and you want to kind of get yourself ready for bed and relax in the evening. We're going to need some pillows, so either you can do this lying on your bed and you can grab a whole load, but otherwise grab some that you can put underneath your knees at the very end. But I'm going to get you to come and you're going to have a little lie down. So from here, I just want you to let everything rest. Your knees are going to be bent, feet flat on the floor, hands just rested comfortably by your side. And I want you to see how your head feels first. So you're going to close those eyes and feel if your head is falling backwards or if it feels like it's rolled back. And if it is, I want you to grab a pillow, pop it underneath your head for us. And you're going to keep those eyes closed and we're going to start by scanning that body. So I want you to go breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. We're going to see if we can start to extend those breaths. So you're going to be breathing in for 4 and out for 4. And what you can do is if you want to feel what's going on, you can rest your hands on your lowest tummy and see if you can feel that your tummy is moving. So we want to find that about 85% of that movement's coming into your tummy. Now, if you have a sinus problem or you've got a bit of a cold, feel free to breathe out through your nose, through your mouth. But just see if you can focus the majority of that breath into your tummy. So we've got inhale for 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 2, 3, 4. And you're just going to keep going for me. And I want you to start to feel what your body feels like. So do you feel like your shoulders are really bunched up near your ears? If you do, just see if you can just let your shoulder blades settle a little bit more down towards your pelvis. You can give yourself a little bit of a lift in order to lower them, and that will create a little bit of space around the top of your shoulders. See how your arms feel. Are they rested by your side? Are they on your tummy? Do they feel heavy wherever they are? Do they feel like they've got space away from your body? And can you keep that space, or even do you need a little bit more to make it that little bit more easy? Then if we travel down to the back of your ribs, at the back of your ribs just rested lightly on the floor. As you're breathing in, you might feel a little bit more pressure come into them. As you're breathing out, it might just come away. Then you should feel a little bit of space in your lower back before your tailbone's planted onto the floor. And just see whether you can let everything go around your pelvis. So your bottom muscles can let go, your back passage can let go. So we're really just allowing your coccyx, your sacrum, that whole tailbone area to spread. And then just notice your legs. Do they feel like they want to fall out and you're having to work to keep them in? If so, just take your feet a little bit wider. Are they going the opposite way? Your feet really wide and your knees are falling together. If that's nice and easy, great. Otherwise, see what happens when you bring your feet in line with those sitting bones. And then just notice your feet. So can you feel your big toe, your little toe, your heels all on the floor, creating this really nice, stable base of support? And you've still got that breath going, that inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Just start to draw attention to your tummy rising and falling. We're going to take this into a really slow pelvic tilt. So as you exhale, you're going to allow your tailbone to just roll backwards and your tummy will continue to fall towards the floor. And as you inhale, you let everything go. Relax your sit bones, Relax those glutes, that back passage, and allow your pubic bone to dive in the opposite direction. And again, on that exhale, roll it back. So with our eyes closed here, we can really kind of start to tap into what we're feeling. Does it feel wonky? Does it feel straight? Just ask yourself these questions. Can you keep that movement going with your breath, or have you suddenly sped up? Can you feel your sitting bones change? Can you feel them gently come together as we roll that tailbone back? And can you feel them gently come apart as you roll the pubic bone through the legs? And just notice your feet for me here. So can you feel that the pressure in your feet is changing a little bit? So as we roll our tailbone backwards, we'll feel a little bit more pressure into our feet. It's like we're standing into them a little bit. And as you release, the pressure in your feet will let go a bit. We've still got that 4-second breath in and out. You're still feeling your tummy rise and fall. I also want you to be aware of the back of your head. So can you feel your head gently moving on this pillow, on this mat? And just rolling, almost sliding back and forth. Now that just means that we've got this lovely distributed movement through your spine. So everything's getting involved when it needs to. I'm going to get you to pause somewhere in the middle, somewhere that's comfortable, and we're going to move our hands either onto your hips and out into your hip bones, or you can stay onto your tummy. But I want you to feel the sides of your pelvis. We're going to start to rock one side of our pelvis down towards the floor. And then you're going to come back to the middle, and we're going to rock down to the other side. So it's like we're creating a seesaw movement of our pelvis, and our hip bones are kind of those little seats on the seesaw. So just see if your tailbone can be that central point. So we're tipping over the central point every time. And again, I want you to have your eyes closed. I want you to feel what's going on. So we're still moving with that breath. Does it feel different one side to the other? Does it feel like you've got the same freedom of movement? What would you have to do to let that freedom of movement happen? So how little do you really have to do to be here? And again, just notice that pressure in your feet. So one foot will be getting lighter, one foot will be getting heavier. And you'll feel your knees moving. See if you can get them to go up and down. So if you need to, you can slowly and gently open your eyes, have a little look down, and see if those legs are going up and down rather than side to side. When you feel happy that you know the answer to that, you can close those eyes again. And then we're going to pause after this one somewhere in the middle. And we're going to start to roll this pelvis round. So you're going to feel like we're making quite a big movement. I don't want you to try and stop anything moving or control it. I want you to see if you can make this as swoopy and circular and big as you can. Your bottom may come off the floor a little bit, but we haven't sped the movement up. We're still just trying to reach the edges of our potential. And we're going to work towards them. And if you move a little bit slower, you're going to have a little bit more capacity to do that. But again, the weight is changing in your feet, your head is changing. We've still got that breath. We're going to be breathing out a little bit more on this top half of the circle because that's what allows your tummy to fall back. And then you can take an inhale through the bottom half. So what shape does it feel like you're making? I feel like I'm going kind of hexagonal, and that's okay. But if we pause you at the top and we reverse it, what does it feel like in this direction? So can you just, again, use that exhale to fall your tummy back towards the floor. The inhale to dive around. And again, I don't mind if your knees are moving. Yes, your feet will be changing. I just want you to get this really lovely free movement through your pelvis and lower back, particularly if you've been sat down all day. And then we're going to pause after this one somewhere in the middle. And you're going to let your hands this time rest by your side. You're going to walk your feet really nice and wide. So as wide as you can feel, either the edges of your mat if you're on the floor, or wider than your hips if you're lying on a bed. And you're going to let both knees just fall over to one side and see if your head wants to go in the opposite direction. You can move your hands out the way if they've got caught. But with that top leg, see if you can really reach it away from you. So we want you to start to feel the stretch in the front of your thighs. You're just going to pause here and we're going to take a few breaths. And I want you to direct that breath right into your side. So almost breathe into that stretch. Breathe into your lowest tummy. Can you let your head stay settled? Can you let your bottom leg just fall and rest on the floor, almost taking up that support? And on your next sigh out, just rotate those feet back to the center. Let the knees come through the middle. And we're going to go over to the other side. So again, knees just falling out to the side. Head's going to reach in the opposite direction, just resting onto the floor. The top leg is going to reach slightly away from you, almost like it's trying to touch the toes on the opposite foot, and that's going to give you that stretch. And again, really breathe into that stretch. We're still going for that long breath. So can you expand into your tummy? Get those hip flexors to let go a little bit. And then every time you exhale, you're just letting go of a little bit more. So how little can you do? Again, on this next exhale breath, we're going to rotate the feet back into the center and over to the other side. Again, reach that leg away. And see if you can keep that upper body just settled onto the floor. It doesn't matter how far you go. If you're feeling too much of a stretch or you even feel like your bottom inner thigh is working, you can stack some pillows up underneath it so it's got something to rest on. Just want to start to open up this kind of top leg, the side of your spine, a little bit into the shoulders. And on your next exhale again, rotate through the center and we're going over to the other side for one more time. So again, can we get that leg, that knee to reach towards the big toe? It's going to open through that side and almost imagine that you could breathe into that stretch. I know your breath can't go into your leg, but how low can you make that breath? How much of your tummy can you get to expand? How much of your back can you get to move? And all the time just reaching that leg toward your big toe. And every time you breathe out, you just let a little bit more go. And then on that next exhale, we're going to bring ourselves all the way back into the center and you're going to walk those feet back to a comfortable distance away. From here, we're just going to reach our arms up towards the ceiling and we're going to take them behind us. Now they might get to the floor, they might not. Your spine, your ribs might be lifted. All of this is okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start to bring them round in a circle. I've hit my pillows. And all the way back down to your hips. And then we're going to go again. So you're going to reach those hands up towards the ceiling and just let them sink back behind you. Again, how little can you do here? You might feel a stretch into your shoulder. We're going to pause it there for just a second. Again, if you need to stack some pillows underneath your hands so you've got some support here, then you can. But see if you can let those armpit muscles go. See if you can let that shoulder just settle. You can bend your elbows if you need to a little bit. And then again, just let the elbows soften, swoop those arms around and come back to your hips. We'll go a couple more there. So reach the hands up. How little can you do? How much can you let gravity just take them back behind your head? Again, just pausing here. On every exhale, trying to let that breath go a little bit more. On the inhale, trying to take it a little bit deeper. And on that exhale again, roll those hands round. And we're going to do one more there. So can you just allow the arms to settle behind you? Don't worry too much about the ribs. If it's uncomfortable on your back, again, just use those pillows behind your hands. But just try and keep yourself just settling onto the floor so that every time you breathe out, you let that little bit more go. And then swoop those hands round all the way back down to your hips. We're going to walk those legs together, taking the arms out a little bit wider. We can go palms up towards the ceiling. And you're going to let both legs drop over to one side. And let your head again just fall. The stretch is going to be a little bit less in your legs, a little bit more in your lower back. Try and keep those legs together. So you're just being a little bit active. And again, I want you to try and breathe into your lowest back. So can you breathe into those love handles? Can you breathe into the sides of you? Really still trying to expand that space. And on the next exhale, you're going to press with that bottom leg, send your feet back to the middle, and we're going to go over to the other side. Again, let the head fall. How little can you do here in your upper body? Can you just keep those legs together? Again, feel that stretch. Does it feel different on this side? And as you sigh, bring the legs back to the center, and we'll do one more each side. So again, just notice your differences. Breathe into that stretch. Every time you breathe out, try and let a little bit more of that tension go. And then bring it all the way back and all the way over for the last time. Again, just letting those elbows be a little bit soft. The arms just taking up the support of the floor. Everything just falling over. And on that exhale again, bottom leg leads you back into the middle. And you're going to pause here. You're going to let find your pillows, and you're going to bring them onto your mat down by your legs. And all we're going to do is let the legs fall over them. So our feet may or may not be touching the floor. The knees are being supported by the pillows. You can let everything go. We're going to turn those palms up. And again, we're going to come back to this beginning place we started at. So where do you feel your shoulders are at? Do you need to lift and just allow your shoulder blades to settle back towards your pelvis a little bit? We're just staying in this position. We're just scanning this whole body. So from your head, can you let it go? Does it need to prop up? Are you still breathing through your nose? Or are you using your mouth as well? Either is fine. But can you extend those breaths again? So go back to that 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Really trying to expand your tummy. And just allowing those legs to settle onto the pillows, which in turn will let that back stay really nice and soft onto your bed, onto your mat. toes wiggle, and then see if they can settle. Almost like you're going to let all the breath come down right into the base of your feet. So keep breathing there for me. Every time you breathe out, try and let that little bit more go. And you have a choice now. You can either stay here and just ignore everything else I'm about to say, or you can gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Let yourself be a little bit more aware again. Notice what's going on in your surroundings. And then from here, you can either again stay where you are, or you're just going to start to roll yourself onto your side, keeping those eyes closed, coming up into sitting. Just make yourself comfortable there. And if you want to, you can start to open your eyes. And just take your time, stay with your breath. And well done for completing that really nice relaxation mobility class.